Hello everyone and welcome back to the studio. You're tuning in to episode 5 of module 5 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I'm your co-host, Ben.
And I'm Anna. Welcome back, everyone. Take a second to celebrate because we have officially hit the halfway mark of our 5th and final module, the Master Builder. You are exactly 5 episodes away from graduation.
It is an incredible feeling to be this close to the finish line. Over the first 44 episodes, you've transformed your pronunciation, your rhythm, your professional etiquette, and your cultural awareness. In our last episode, we taught you how to survive when you hear a word you don't understand.
We taught you how to be a context detective. You learned how to use structural clues, prefixes, and conjunctions to deduce the meaning of massive vocabulary words on the fly without ever breaking your conversational momentum. You know how to absorb high-level English perfectly.
But today, we're flipping the camera around. We're moving from listening comprehension to spoken expression. Today is episode 5, Advanced Description Skills. We're going to solve the absolute most frustrating problem that advanced English learners face.
I know exactly what problem you're talking about. It is the invisible wall between your brain and your mouth. You have a highly complex, vivid, colorful picture in your head. You know exactly what you want to say in your native language.
But when you open your mouth to describe it in English, all of that beautiful color disappears. You end up using the same 10 basic vocabulary words you learned in middle school. You say things were good, bad, big, small, happy, or sad.
You feel like a master painter who has been forced to paint a masterpiece using only black and white crayons. The translation is functional, people understand what you mean, but the emotional impact of your story is completely destroyed. You sound basic.
And in the professional world, sounding basic is a massive disadvantage. If you're pitching a $1 million idea to an executive, you cannot just say, "This idea is very good and it will make us a lot of money." That doesn't inspire anyone. You have to paint a picture that captivates the room.
Today, we're going to give you your colors back. We're going to teach you how to speak in high definition. We are breaking advanced description down into 3 powerful pillars.
Pillar number 1 is the very ban. Pillar number 2 is the sensory upgrade. And pillar number 3 is the art of the native analogy. Let's jump right into it.
Let's start with pillar number 1, the very ban. If you want to instantly upgrade your descriptive English today, you need to ban the word very from your vocabulary. Very is a crutch. It's a lazy modifier that kills the impact of your sentences.
Exactly. When you don't know the precise high-level adjective for a situation, you take a basic adjective and you just stick the word very in front of it. Instead of finding the right word, you just amplify a boring word.
Think about how often you do this. You say, "You are very tired." You say, "The project is very hard." You say, "The client was very angry." It sounds like a beginner's textbook. We have to replace those 2-word combinations with a single, powerful executive adjective.
Let's start with very tired. In the corporate world, you are never just very tired. You say, "I am absolutely exhausted." Or if it has been a terrible month, you say, "I am completely drained." Drained implies that someone pulled the plug and all your energy leaked out.
What about very angry? If you are managing a team and a massive mistake happens, the client isn't very angry. They are furious, or they are livid. If you walk into a meeting and say, "The client is livid right now," the entire room is going to sit up and pay attention. Livid is a terrifying word.
Let's look at very bad. If the quarterly financial report is terrible, you don't say, "The numbers are very bad." You say, "The numbers are abysmal." Abysmal literally means like a bottomless pit. It implies total, devastating failure.
And we have to upgrade our positive words too. If a coworker does a great job, don't say, "The presentation was very good." That's weak praise. You say, "The presentation was exceptional," or you say, "It was stellar."
Stellar relates to the stars. It means shining brightly above everything else. If you tell an employee their work is stellar, they will remember that compliment for the rest of the year.
Banning the word very forces your brain to search for the exact right word. It forces you to be precise, and precision is the ultimate marker of a fluent speaker.
Now let's move to pillar number 2, the sensory upgrade. Most English learners describe events like a police report. They just state the cold, dry facts. I went to the store, there were a lot of people, I bought an apple, I went home.
That isn't a story, that's a timeline. To make someone actually feel what you experienced, you have to use sensory language. You have to trigger the 5 senses: sight, sound, touch, smell, and taste. You have to put the listener inside the room with you.
Let's pretend you had a terrible experience at the airport. The basic way to describe it is, the airport was very busy and loud, and I was stressed.
Notice the basic adjectives: busy, loud, stressed. Now, let's apply the sensory upgrade. How do we make the listener feel the chaos? We describe what we heard and what we felt.
The airport was absolute bedlam. The security lines were wrapping around the building, the intercom was blaring nonstop, and you could physically feel the tension in the air.
Look at the verbs and nouns in that description. Wrapping around the building gives you a visual of a massive, endless line. Blaring is a sound word that means harsh, deafening noise, and feeling the tension in the air makes the stress physical and suffocating.
You can use sensory language in the office too. Imagine you are describing a meeting where nobody was talking. The basic description is, the room was very quiet.
The advanced sensory description is, you could hear a pin drop in that boardroom. The silence was completely deafening.
Silence is deafening is an amazing oxymoron. Deafening means a sound so loud it destroys your hearing. By calling silence deafening, you're saying the quiet was so heavy and awkward that it actually hurt your ears. It is an incredibly sophisticated description.
What if you're trying to describe a complicated, messy project? You don't just say, "The project is unorganized." You use visual chaos. You say, "Looking at this spreadsheet is like trying to untangle a ball of yarn. There are moving parts everywhere, and nothing aligns."
Untangling a ball of yarn instantly gives your boss a visual picture of frustration and messiness, which transitions us perfectly into our ultimate descriptive tool. Pillar number 3, the art of the native analogy.
An analogy is simply comparing a complex or abstract situation to a simple, universally understood situation. Native speakers use analogies constantly because they bypass logic and go straight to the imagination.
When you use a strong analogy, you don't even need to use big vocabulary words. The picture does the heavy lifting for you.
Let's say you're managing a team of software developers, and every time you fix one bug, 2 more bugs appear. It's incredibly frustrating. You don't say, "The work is very hard and repetitive, that's boring."
You use an analogy. You say, managing this software update is like playing a game of whack-a-mole.
Whack-a-mole is a classic arcade game where you hit a mechanical mole with a hammer and another one instantly pops up somewhere else. By using that analogy, everyone instantly understands the exact flavor of your frustration.
Here's another massive corporate analogy. Let's say your company is rushing to launch a new product,
but the product isn't actually finished yet. You're fixing it while you're selling it.
You look at your manager and say, "This launch feels like we're trying to build an airplane while we're already flying it."
Trying to build an airplane while flying it. It's brilliant. It perfectly captures the danger, the speed, and the sheer panic of the situation without you having to explain the technical details.
What if you are trying to convince someone to do something they absolutely don't want to do? Let's say getting the finance department to approve a budget increase is incredibly difficult.
Getting finance to approve this budget is like pulling teeth.
Like pulling teeth. It compares a corporate process to the slow, agonizing pain of a dentist extracting a tooth. It's visceral. It makes the listener cringe. That is the power of a great analogy.
What if things are going perfectly? What if the project is easy and there are no obstacles? You use a sailing analogy. You say, the initial phase was a bit rocky, but from here on out, it should be smooth sailing.
Smooth sailing gives you a visual of calm water, a light breeze, and zero stress. It puts the entire room at ease.
Let's put all of this together. Anna and I are going to do a descriptive role play. We're going to tell the exact same story twice. I'm going to ask Anna about a terrible hotel she stayed at during a recent business trip.
In the first version, I'm going to describe the hotel using basic functional English. I'll use the word very too much. I won't use any sensory language, and I won't use any analogies. Listen to how boring and flat the story feels.
Here we go. Step into the conversation.
Hey, Anna, how was the business trip to Chicago? I heard the hotel they booked for you wasn't great.
It was very bad, Ben. The room was very small, and the bed was very hard. There was a lot of noise outside, so I was very tired the next morning. The bathroom was also very dirty. I didn't like it at all.
Oh, wow, that sounds very bad. I'm sorry to hear that.
And scene. That was painful. I sounded like I was reading a children's book.
It was incredibly flat. I literally had nothing to react to. You gave me zero emotional hooks. You just listed the facts. Small room, hard bed, loud noise, dirty bathroom.
There was no color. Now, let's rewind and do version 2. We are going to ban the word very. I'm going to upgrade my adjectives, inject sensory details, and use a strong analogy to describe the experience. Listen to the difference in the energy.
Take 2.
Hey, Anna, how was the business trip to Chicago? I heard the hotel they booked for you wasn't great.
Ben, calling it not great is the understatement of the century. The place was an absolute nightmare. I walked in and the room was so cramped it felt like I was sleeping in a broom closet.
You're kidding. Was it really that small?
I couldn't even fully open my suitcase, and the walls were paper thin. I could hear every single siren on the street and the elevator dinging all night long. I woke up the next morning feeling completely drained.
That's awful. Did you at least get a chance to take a hot shower before your meeting?
Don't even get me started on the bathroom. It was absolutely filthy. The whole place felt like a scene out of a horror movie. Honestly, getting through that presentation on 2 hours of sleep was an uphill battle.
And scene. That was a masterpiece of vivid description.
It felt completely different. I was actually enjoying telling the story because the words matched my frustration perfectly. Let's break down exactly what I did.
You started by rejecting my weak adjective. I said it wasn't great, and you said that was the understatement of the century. Then you upgraded very bad to an absolute nightmare.
Then I used a spatial analogy. Instead of saying the room was very small, I said it felt like sleeping in a broom closet.
A broom closet is tiny and suffocating. It paints an instant picture.
You used sensory language for the sound. You didn't say it was loud. You said the walls were paper thin. You mentioned the specific sounds of sirens and the elevator dinging. You made me hear the noise that kept you awake.
I banned the phrase very tired and upgraded it to completely drained. And instead of saying the bathroom was very dirty, I used the extreme adjective filthy.
You summarized the visual aesthetic by saying it felt like a scene out of a horror movie. And finally, you used a fantastic corporate analogy to describe your morning. You said doing the presentation was an uphill battle.
An uphill battle implies struggle, gravity, and exhaustion. It's so much more powerful than just saying the presentation was hard.
When you speak in high definition like this, people don't just listen to you, they hang on your every word. You become a magnetic communicator. You become the person who commands attention in the boardroom simply because your words are so engaging to listen to.
And the best part is, you already have the imagination for it. You already know what a broom closet looks like. You already know what an uphill battle feels like. You just have to grant yourself the permission to use those images when you speak English.
Stop filtering your brilliant ideas through a boring functional translator. Trust your sensory experiences.
Which brings us to your mission for episode 5. It is time for you to paint a picture for us.
Your homework for this week is the Descriptive Upgrade Challenge. We want you to think about the worst commute or the worst traffic jam you have ever experienced.
The basic way to say it is, the traffic was very bad and I was very angry. But you are officially banned from using the word very.
We want you to describe that traffic jam in the comments below. Give us 2 sentences. Use an upgraded adjective like horrendous or agonizing. Use a sensory detail. Tell us about the blaring horns or the smell of exhaust.
And try to drop one analogy. Was it like moving at a snail's pace? Was it a parking lot?
Come down into the comments section of this episode and paint us a picture of your nightmare commute. We will be reading through and highlighting the most vivid cinematic descriptions.
You guys are officially at the halfway point of Module 5. You have decoded slang, conquered sarcasm, mastered cultural nuance, and now you have the tools to speak in high definition. You are building an incredible level of intuitive fluency.
But there is one major real-world obstacle we haven't tackled yet in this module. We've assumed that everyone you're talking to speaks with a clear, standard American or British accent. But the business world is entirely global.
Exactly. You are going to negotiate with clients from Australia, collaborate with engineers from Scotland, and manage teams from India or South Africa. And every single one of those regions has a vastly different accent.
If you can only understand standard Hollywood English, your fluency is fragile. That is why in our next episode, episode 6, we are diving into handling different accents.
We're going to teach you the mechanical differences between major global accents, how to train your ear to catch the dropped consonants and shifted vowels, and what to politely say when you absolutely cannot understand the person sitting across from you.
It is going to be an essential survival guide for the modern international professional, and you definitely will not want to miss it as we head into the second half of this final module.
But for today, focus on banning the word very. Upgrade your adjectives, trigger the 5 senses, and start painting pictures with your analogies.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Anna. If you're ready to speak in high definition and ban the word very forever, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep building this effortless fluency together. Until next time,
Keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.